Welcome to This Week in High School Sports. I'm Teresa Whipple here with Steve Willitson. Happy spring, everybody.
Spring break for Edmonds School District.
That's right, yeah.
Enjoy.
But there's still a lot of sports going on, which we'll get to in a moment. But first, thanks to our sponsor, Red Onion Burgers. And on the subject of spring, and that usually people think about Easter.
They do.
And he is collecting Easter candy for his, well, it can be any kind of candy, but for Easter eggs as part of their annual Easter egg hunt that they do the Saturday before Easter. So if you have candy that you want to donate, you can drop it off at Red Onion Burgers in Mount Lake Terrace. They're on 44th near the Albertsons. So let's move on to dance.
Yeah, and I think this is the first time we've actually had guests on from a dance or drill team.
I think you're right.
In the studio, and why not? Edmonds-Woodway last weekend, they participated in the Yakima Sundome's dance and drill competitions, the state championships. We should also mention Meadowdale and Linwood were also in attendance. And Edmonds-Woodway placing third in one category, fourth in another. This is on a state level. So we thought we'd bring a few of their dance team members in to talk about their success and the season thus far. So here we are with three of the members from the Edmonds-Woodway dance team. The Edmonds-Woodway dance team had a huge weekend last week. They were over at the Yakima Sundome competing in the state championships, coming away with a third place finish in one category, fourth place in the other. And joining us right now, team captain Kendra Jory, who is a senior this year, along with two junior lieutenants. We have Grace Borchert in the middle and Litzy Montiel right next to me. And ladies, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you.
Big things happening for Edmonds-Woodway. Kendra, this is a team that has been to state before. However, first time getting a top three finish since you've been there, right? Was this expected? Did we think this was going to happen?
We really didn't expect it. I mean, we knew that we were doing a lot better than before, but we really went in there just kind of looking for the experience and trying to just do our best performance of the year. And we didn't really, the trophy wasn't the goal, but it was definitely a perk.
And unlike a lot of other sports, or maybe like some sports, you kind of have an idea as to where you're ranked going into the tournament through various scores and other systems. You had a third place ranking going in, but Grace, you've had that ranking before and didn't come away with a trophy, right?
Dance is a very objective thing. When you're looking at the performance, it's all to the judges, what they think, what they're gonna decide, what they want to score the routine. So in the past, it's been like, ooh, we don't know what we're going to score, but this year we went in and the scoring was very fair and we were happy with how it came out.
And let's see, I'm going to ask a question that I've asked some of our cheer competitors that we've had in here in the past. A lot of times when you've got multiple people out there performing all at once, and in your case, I think 16 doing the military performance, you might know how you're doing, but you maybe don't always have a sense of what your teammates are doing, or do you? I mean, can you actually see what they're doing? And did you know as soon as your routine ended that, hey, I think we nailed this and we have a shot?
Yeah, you can feel while you're dancing. You can feel how everyone's doing because of how do you say? If everyone just click, yeah, and that you feel it in the energy when everyone's doing really, really well.
You can tell when it's a good performance and when it's a bad performance.
Yes.
Well, in the moment like that too, I mean, are you able to kind of watch things out of the corner of your eye? Are you looking through peripherals? Do you, Kendra?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, is it easy to kind of get caught up in just what you're doing and you're so focused that maybe you don't see that sometimes, or is that not even the case?
For sure. Yeah, sometimes you there's times especially for first years, they'll kind of go out there their first competition and kind of blank out or space out because there's just so much adrenaline going through them and it's a new experience. But by the time we get to state, we kind of have trained them into kind of, just focusing on the task at hand and not getting all caught up in the lights and, competition.
Sure. And now there are multiple categories at dance. So it's not just one thing. And there's dance and there's drill in some cases. There's hip hop, there's dance, there's kick, military, palm. Your team performs in two different categories. Is that something that's predetermined well ahead of time, or is that something that happens after the team is assembled for the year? And Kendra, you're the captain, you're the senior. Maybe I'll start with you. First of all, let's talk military because you did place third in state in this particular category. Do you know ahead of time you're going to be doing military?
Yeah, so we're a military team, so we do military every year. It's kind of our strong suit. It's kind of what the state kind of knows that we're good. We're kind of really good at. It's kind of our forte. And then we've had our second category kind of change a lot. We usually, in the past, have done palm a lot, but we kind of took a break from it for a couple of years, and then we came back to it this year.
And when was that determined that you would do palm for this season?
It was determined at state last year.
So it's not as though you walk in September make the team and then find out you're doing pom. You already kind of know over the summer, so you can.
Yeah, the coach makes sure to tell them at the parent meeting for the tryouts. She tells everybody these are the 2 categories that we're going to be competing in, and that kind of a thing.
Okay, and then for those of us who don't watch a lot of dance drill, military, I mean, I think I kind of have a general idea. I've seen people in cadence and marching and whatnot, Grace, but what is the difference between what I might see out on a, if I was at the Naval Academy or a place like that versus what I'm going to watch in the Yakima Sundome?
What you're going to see from us is there's the same sharpness to that, but we have a lot more tricks and a lot more formations, flexibility, patterns, and it's going to be a lot more group work and teamwork and stunting than just individual, like how sharp can I be.
And Litzy, is there music involved in this as well?
There is, yeah. Military music is really like upbeat and like sharp, like
It can be intense. It
yeah,
can be,
intense.
So when I'm thinking of bugles and horns and things like that, is it not
No,
necessarily
not
the
at all.
case?
You
Not in
also
2019,
see
right?
sparkles and makeup and that kind of a thing.
And we see a lot of the general stunting and things like that we see at a cheer competition too?
Kind
or?
of, yeah. We do a little bit different stuff because we have because cheer has mats, so they can do more like high stunts that are a little bit more difficult. So we don't have any mats, so we have to be really careful about safety. If you do a stunt that's kind of too risky, you can get a deduction, and you have to make sure that you're really safe about that.
And so the second category you did was pom. Sounds basic. I'm going to guess there's a little element of cheer in that as well, or
Kind of.
More or less.
It's basically military with cheer pom-poms.
okay, if you can visualize that.
Yeah.
And why pom? Why as opposed to other categories?
Our team, since we're a very sharp military-based routine, it's easy for us to throw palms in our hands and have that same sharp crispness, and then throw it in with some formations and patterns, and it looks so cool with all that. Yeah.
So Kendra mentioned earlier that you guys are known historically as a military school, in the sense of dance, of course. So getting third place in military, probably not the biggest surprise in the world. How about getting a fourth place finish in pom? I've got to think that, again, it's not a category that Kendra's got her eyes going over there kind of wide. So is that maybe as much of a pleasant surprise as what you did in military then?
Yeah, I mean, pom was kind of a fun routine this year, so military is one that we were kind of really competitive with, that we knew that we would do well in, and pom was kind of more, we're going to have fun with this and kind of go out there, because it's, the appeal of pom is also it has more upbeat music that is kind of more fun to dance to. Military is a little bit more intense, serious face, and kind of, so pom's really can be sassy and can be really fun like that. But getting a fourth place finish was very surprising because we had a lot of struggles with formations and having to take people out and having to put people back in, and just pom changed a lot over the season.
I can imagine. And we should mention too, and I know I've talked about this before when we've had cheer groups in here, this is not an easy sport, and it's not exactly the safest sport in the world either, right? We always think of football or maybe wrestling as being a sport with a lot of injuries. I think per capita, probably as many injuries in dance as any other sport out there, right? And Kendra, you can kind of attest to that. You've been a little banged up, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have like a really bad ankle, a really bad hip, and I have a shoulder that kind of pops out a lot. It actually popped out during a performance actually this year at Eastlake, at Eastlake's competition that we went to. It popped out in the middle of the routine during a trick.
Okay.
So.
And Grace must have been witness to that. You were smiling right away. So, well, and so how often do you perform? I mean, again, we start to think dance drill when it comes to state in March, but I would assume you're not just gathering up in early March to get ready for state in 3 weeks. This is a year-round sport, right?
Yeah.
Yes, we start off with a lot of community events and community service, and we help with those and cheer those on as we're developing our routines. And then we have football season. We perform at football games, at school assemblies, and so that's kind of more for the school. And then we start in November into our competition season, which lasts till March. And then there's about maybe a competition or two every month, which is basically a whole day endeavor, at least.
You kind of have to, we need weeks in between competitions so that we can listen to the judges' comments, because they leave audio for us after each performance, and then we can change the routine, adjust it, clean places that we need to clean for the next competition to try and get a better score. So it's kind of like that.
Well, and Litzy, what's that like? I mean, when you get that audio confirmation from a judge, or maybe constructive criticism, if you will. I mean, is it tough to listen to sometimes, or
Our team is really easy about taking
criticism?
corrections and criticism and stuff. So the day after every competition, the first practice after every competition, typically a Monday, we all sit down and take notes, and like the coaches will take notes, and we modify it to what the judges say. So if one section isn't clean or it doesn't look good, then the coaches will adjust that. And so it's kind of nice to get that back because it's like a little reflection.
So what's maybe the biggest piece of criticism or critique that you've ever taken as a team that you've been able to use to your benefit later on down the road, or is there a moment?
There's so many. I mean,
Or give us an example of what
I mean,
one
they're
might
kind
be.
of they're talking because they're talking as they're watching our routine. So they'll kind of say stuff like formation on the right is too tight, or that move needs to be bigger. Make sure you're hitting your angles. Probably the biggest one was that we weren't showing enough flexibility. That was
Oh
kind
my
of a big. We were like,
gosh.
we need
was
to
that last
step
year?
it up. Yeah.
Kind of opened some eyes a little bit and got you
Yeah,
working towards
never gotten that comment before. It was.
And it was kind of eye-opening. We were like, okay.
Got it.
that. And you've used it and run with it. Now you've got a trophy in the trophy case at school. Talk a little bit about Kat. You're Kat Lewis, the coach. I know all the heads kind of go to the side. Everybody's smiling. We've got to know Kat. She works in the Edmonds School District athletic department. First year as a head coach, but she's been with the program in the past, and she also danced for Edmonds-Woodway. So what has she meant to this team, and how much have you enjoyed working with her?
Oh gosh, she's like kind of like a mom to us. Whatever we want to have happen, she always does her absolute best to just make it happen. Or and she pushes us to like so much farther than we ever thought we would be able to go this season. So
Yeah. I mean, it's cool from my perspective because my freshman year, I was, Kat was not an assistant coach. She was because she was still kind of finding a job and that kind of thing. So I had only Deb, our previous coach. And then my sophomore year, she was an assistant coach. And then my junior year, she was a co-coach. And this year, she was our head coach. So it was really cool to kind of see her, the growth that she did and how well she just kind of stepped into the role of head coach and just how easy the transition was because Deb was there for 14 years and it was kind of a big thing when she said that she was going to retire. And so I know that I was nervous about not having Deb there, but Kat just made it so easy and it just worked so well.
Well, and different expectations too when you have a new coach, right?
Yeah, it was really different expectations because she was really open to a lot of new things. So she really expected us to work harder to get those new things, especially like when it comes to tricks and stunts and stuff. She's really open to things, so it was nice to just
Be able to, and also we should mention Kat, not that far removed from high school, so I know we talked
she-
about that a little earlier too.
she's like closer to our age, so it's nice that we can relate to her and she can like relate to us and how we feel. And since she was on the team, then she also just knows. So
She knows what it's like to
nice, yeah.
perform and just kind of so that she's able to give us tips on that.
So how vital is dance to your world even outside of school? I would imagine this isn't
Vital.
again this isn't something that you just start doing once you get to
Yeah.
school. And Kendra, for you, I know you've got a background in ballet, correct?
Yeah, I've done studio and ballet since I was 3. So I did it when I was 3 until I was 14. And that kind of world is very intense. It takes a lot of dedication, a lot of money, a lot of sacrifice from your whole family. And I was kind of ready to kind of have a life outside of dance. So I decided to join the team so that way I could kind of be involved in school more, but still be able to dance and stuff.
And you do a lot of dance outside of school as well.
Yeah, I do. I'm on an all-star team it's basically a team assembled of kind of the best kids on their own high school dance teams across the state. And so we compete nationally. We went to Jams Nationals in Vegas in February, and we are actually going next weekend to Anaheim American Championships.
And so that's throughout the nation, or is that a world
Yeah,
competition?
no,
Or?
so we're trying to get a bid to the world competition, but that right now is nationally the competition that we're going to.
Very good. Okay, so next weekend we'll hopefully have some positive news to report on from you. And I understand you're taking a trip to Paris here in the near future for
Yes,
dance.
I might. Yeah, I want to go. I might be going to audition for Disneyland Paris to be a dancer in their parades.
There you go. And then college, do we know yet? You're the senior of the group here, so.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard back from a few places. I've gotten into Western and Wazoo, but I'm kind of looking at seeing because if I go to Disneyland Paris, if I get that, I'll be living there for a couple of years. But kind of looking at Manoa as well and San Diego.
Awesome. And then as far as other dance ventures, Grace, I know you took up ballet for the first time this year, right?
Yeah, it's not really my thing, but I needed something to supplement the team because we push ourselves and I'm trying to make myself better for my teammates. So I decided to take some classes it's like kind of more of an old lady class, but it's okay because it makes me.
She's
better
a
for
junior in
my
high
team.
school. It's an old
Yeah.
lady class, right? So we'll talk a little bit about what's been the biggest thing you've gained from that experience that maybe you've applied to this year's dance team.
It's like walking into a room and like I know what I'm capable of and I don't care what anyone else thinks of me in that room. Like I feel like most people my age would be like, this is weird or scary and I'm not going to go in. But it's just really taught me to be like comfortable with my abilities where I'm at and then like focusing on me to work and get better. And I've kind of taken that to practice, not comparing myself to maybe an all-star select ballerina, but coming in and being able to focus on myself and my flexibility and how to get better.
It sounds like it's almost helped your stage presence as much as it's helped any of your dancing.
Yes,
Yes.
she's come very far.
Wow, very good. Okay. And Litzy, for you, not necessarily dancing outside of the Edmonds-Woodway team, it doesn't sound like, but you're keeping it a little bit busy. And we were talking before the cameras were rolling. Tell me about one of the clubs you're involved with at school.
Colores Unidos. It's a Colors United club, and it's more of a Latin base, but we do have a lot of BSU kids and kids from all colors. Yeah.
And that's kind of, the fact that, we talk about this a lot on this show. We're a student athlete show, not just an athlete show. Talk a little bit about what it means to get everybody together and to kind of unite the community at Edmonds-Woodway, so to speak.
It's really nice because when you enter the club, everyone just is really accepting. So at the meetings, there's always a lot of chit-chatting and fun because everyone's just so open with each other. And it's nice to be like in a school where it's really just accepting and there's people of all colors and everything there, so it's nice. It's really
And Kendra, for you, you're doing Running Start, so this is really your chance to kind of unite yourself with the school, so to speak, right? You probably don't see a lot of these
Yeah, no,
students otherwise.
I only go to the high school for dance practice. Not anymore because I'm all done. But it's kind of cool to kind of be removed from that and then come at the end of the day and have the girls there and they just come from school and hearing about what they do and everything. So
I would think it keeps you nicely connected to the Edmonds-Woodway community, whereas you're not getting that maybe in the mornings, so to speak.
yeah, no, it really does. And you hear I'll hear about things that happened at school that day and I'm like, oh, I'm still in the loop, still know what's happening.
And Grace, I needed to ask you. You're in a Battle of the Books competition, which I think is awesome, by the way. So I want to talk about this because I don't think we've ever brought up a Battle of the Books conversation on this show before. So you have and I know that various schools and various districts use this throughout really probably the country, where you are given a list of books you need to read throughout the school year, and then later on in the year you have a trivia competition to see how well you've retained these books.
Exactly.
How many books do you have to read during the school year?
There's the list is 15 and you try to read them all as much as possible.
And how many are you at right now?
I'm at about 8 with dance, but without.
So we're thinking without dance, now that state's over, we're going to get caught up on the
Yes,
books. And
exactly.
okay, and for those that might be looking for a good read, what's the best book you've read this year?
Born a Crime by Trevor Noah, the host of The Daily Show.
The host of The Daily Show. So there you go. So there's your recommendation for books. You get it all on this show. We try to keep you posted as to what's going on. As far as the future of Edmonds-Woodway dance, Kendra, you're the senior here. Maybe I should ask you first before I ask the girls. You can give us more of an objective review here. How are they looking for the future?
They're looking great. I have no doubts. They're gonna do awesome.
How many seniors were on this year's team?
We have 4.
Okay, so they're bringing back quite a few.
Yeah, no, we have a lot coming back, and I think we're gonna have a lot trying out because the year that my sophomore year we won our district competition that year. And we had a lot of people trying out the following year. So after this, people hear about us getting third and us winning districts, and that makes them want to be a part of it. So we'll get a lot of tryouts this season as well, and it'll be good.
And Litzy, having a little taste of success, does that motivate you that much more for next year?
Yeah, it's really exciting because Kat has really talked about what she wants for the upcoming years. So she has a lot of potential, and it's really cool to see what's to come.
And Grace, you don't get to necessarily just kind of ease back into it either. You're
Oh gosh.
still practicing, and you're going to be practicing throughout the summer. Is that correct?
Pretty much, yeah. It's a 11-month sport.
So one month off or a couple weeks here and there, I
Yeah,
guess, right? And
exactly.
then during the summer, how often do you practice?
About 3 times a week.
Okay.
More.
Yeah, sometimes more.
Sometimes, yeah.
We need it.
So not a lot of time off, but you can see the results are well worth it. We didn't bring the trophy in today, but they do in fact have one. Putting that into the EW trophy case. So again, Kendra, Grace, Litzy, thank you very much for coming in. Congratulations. Awesome
you.
job this year.
Thank you.
Hope you had a great time doing it. It sounds like Yakima was fun, right?
Yeah, it was a blast.
Overall, they had a good time. They've got the trophy to show for it, and we enjoyed talking to them. So best of luck.
Thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Yeah.
I didn't realize what a commitment that dance team
Oh, yeah.
was year-round, almost 11 months, right? Mm-hmm. And my understanding is now there are going to be tryouts for next year coming up.
Yeah, they don't waste much time. The tryouts for next season are going to be May 15th through the 19th, and 8th graders are welcome to try out as well, so a little different than some of the other sports. So if anybody out there, I think at College Place Middle School, some of the packets have been left in the office. But if anybody is interested, and Kat Lewis, who works at the district as well as the coach, contact Edmonds-Woodway and be ready for tryouts come mid-May. And then again, they practice all throughout the summer, so it's quite the commitment.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm really excited about the next segment because I've been following the Meadowdale boys soccer team and how well they've been doing this season, and that's going to be fun to hear what they have to say.
They've been doing very well this season, yeah. Unfortunately, picked up a loss on Friday, but
Yeah.
prior to that, I think they had won 6 of their first 7 matches, had a streak of 5 consecutive games in which they did not give up a goal. And also going into Friday's match against Marysville-Pilchuck, who's the number 1 team in Wesco, Meadowdale had outscored their league opponents 17-2 thus far. 17-1. Sorry, I didn't mean to cheat you guys there. So yeah, the Meadowdale Mavericks off to a great start. This is a team that won 1 game all of 2 years ago, 3 games the year before that. So a team that's really struggled over the last few years. And now they look like they might be one of the top 2 teams in the conference out of 14 or 15 schools. So having a huge year, so we thought we'd bring the Mavericks in and talk a little Mavs soccer. Here are 3 of the members from that soccer team. The Meadowdale Mavericks soccer team is off to a fantastic start this year. 5-1 in Wesco play, 6-2 overall. They've outscored their Wesco opponents 18-4 on the season. And joining us right now, 3 of the seniors on that team. We'll start on the very end here. We've got Baboucarr Sowe, who is a defensive player, and then we've got 2 midfielders, Jacob Potts and Cole Jackson. Baboucarr, let me just start with you. What's been the biggest difference? I mean, this is a team that won 1 game 2 years ago. You guys won 11 out of 21 games last year, and now all of a sudden you guys are one of the top teams in Wesco.
Yeah, the big thing was that we have a lot of chemistry this year, and we have big goals for the upcoming games and how we're going to perform.
All 3 of you guys were on that team that won 1 game 2 years ago. Jacob, I mean, did you see yourselves being a 6-2 team by the time you were a senior? I mean, that's a big jump. And for you guys to struggle the way you guys did as sophomores, and now you can make an argument that you're one of the top 2 or 3 teams in the league right now. Did you guys foresee this 2 years ago when you were kind of looking ahead?
I mean, I think we all wanted to believe that we could get here, but we didn't have the confidence or patience to get there. And I just don't think we believed we could do it, but we wish we could.
Yeah. Nicole, we had a similar conversation with 3 seniors last year, right about this time.
Yeah.
And at the time, they were, I think, 3 wins, 2 losses, and 1 tie. So not quite where you guys are, and yet they were already substantially better than the year before. And we were asking them how much that meant for them to kind of get where they were. I've got to think a season like last year where you do go from 1 win to 11 wins kind of helps catapult you guys into this year, too. How much did last season help for you guys to get ready for this season?
It definitely built our confidence, knowing that we were a lower seed going into playoffs and to almost make it to state, which was pretty cool. And to know this season's so great just because I know what it's like to lose all those games and how much this means to the team. So, yeah.
And getting a little taste of success, it makes you want a little
Exactly.
bit more, doesn't it?
Uh-huh.
Well, and let's talk a little bit about who are the players and who's making this team happen right now. But maybe we'll talk about your other teammates before we get to the 3 of you necessarily. And Baboucarr, I'll have you maybe talk about the defensive side of things. Start with the goalkeeper. Who are we seeing back there in the net?
Kyle is our goalkeeper. He's a really athletic person, and he works hard, and he communicates to us a lot when we're playing during games, and that helps us defenders. Our back forward, Jacob Sessler, me, Jose at this time right now, but Clay was starting, and there's Alex Mejia, and us 4, we work together as a team to not let people score on us. So we have that chemistry in the back 4, so we don't let that many goals go in.
Not very many goals at all. And matter of fact, you had a streak going on here at the later part of the month. You had 5 consecutive matches where you didn't give up a single goal. As defensive players, I'm guessing you take a lot of pride in that.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is it something, did you talk about it each and every game? Did you know what the streak was at? And
Yeah, we were trying to have a shutout for a long time, so we're going to keep on trying to keep it low, keep the scores low.
So far, so good. Jacob, tell me a little bit about, I guess we'll have you maybe talk about the front end of things as well. I know you tend to be a little more of an offensive midfielder. So who are we watching up front right now?
You got me on the left side. I play left winger, and up at striker we got Rivers Stewart. He's a really great player. He's a goofy guy. And on the right side we have Mamadou Sidibe, and we're a really good duo up top because me and Momo, we work the sides very well, and we swing crosses in whenever we can. And whenever River gets the ball, he always goes for goal, and most of the time he's successful. So.
We gave River our Action Jackson Plumbing Athlete of the Week a couple of weeks ago for a few goals that he had in I guess a handful of games. Only a sophomore too, right?
Yeah.
What's it been like playing with him then in terms of team chemistry and working the younger guy in with the older guys?
I mean, he fits in with us. It's just like he's a senior, you know. It's not that much different. He works really well with us. You know, sometimes it can get out of hand because like he's reckless because he's young, but he's a pretty good player. So we haven't had any trouble.
And then Cole in the middle. Who are we looking at besides you?
So there's 3 starting center mids. It's me, Stevie Kuhn, and Harrison Wood, and then we all work together pretty well because we played together before. And I play defensive mid, and then Stevie and Harry are ahead of me, so we all work together pretty well. They're good on attack. They like to find the forwards pretty fast. And the people come in are Dana Mahari and Juan Alvarez, and they come in very well, and they boost up the team. So midfield's looking good.
So we got a lot of depth there, it sounds like.
Yeah, for sure.
Very good. Let's have you guys talk about each other now so I can kind of get a feel for who the 3 of you are as players and as teammates. Baboucarr, why don't we start with you? Tell us a little bit about Jake up here in the middle and what kind of a player is he?
Jacob, he's a leader. He's a leader on the field. When he knows it's time to play, he'll tell people it's time to play, and he's not going to joke around about it. And that's what I like about him. If you have those type of leaders on a team, that's how you succeed. And we don't play around that much when it comes to seriousness. So that's what I like about him, and he's a big leader on the team.
So Jacob, do you kind of pride yourself in taking that role on? I mean, somebody has to do it, right? You're kind of the fist, so to speak, when it needs to come down on the table and let people know that, hey, time to get serious? Or
I mean, yeah, people probably think I'm just like mean or something, but when we have a game coming up, I don't want to hear any talking about anything else that's irrelevant because that's just going to take our mind off it. And we've been doing really well, and I don't want to mess it up. So
keeping the team focused.
Yeah.
Now tell me a little bit about Cole Jackson. What kind of a player is he?
Well, Cole is one of our captains, and he's a really well-balanced player. He plays in our midfield and pretty much controls and regulates the whole center. And when it comes to seriousness, he'll take action, and he'll kind of lay down that iron fist on the team too when we like need to settle down or not get too excited and keep our heads focused, and he does really well at it.
And now Cole, they'll circle back around and tell me about Baboucarr Sowe and what kind of a player he is.
Bob's definitely our strong center back. When we need him, he's back there. If I get beat or if anyone gets beat, he'll be back there to clean it up. Every time he gets the ball, it's up and out, which is awesome. We like that. We like to not play with it in our half. But also off the field, he's like great just because he keeps his focus. On the bus, he'll have a lot of fun. But then when we're on the field, he'll make sure we're locked in. No matter what the score is, he'll make sure it's 0-0 mentality. So we like that about him.
So I've heard focus. I've heard, staying on task. I've also heard having fun. So, for instance, you're one of your next games coming up is at Oak Harbor, longest bus trip you're going to take all year. Is this a team that plays music and laughs and jokes a lot on the way up to a match, or is this a team that keeps it silent and?
Well, it's music all the way.
Is it music all the way?
Yeah.
Who's controlling the music on the bus?
I got the music.
Oh, you got the
on
music.
bus,
Okay,
yeah.
is that good with you guys, or
I mean, yeah.
what's he playing? What's on the playlist?
Everything, the whole genre, anything you want to play, country, rap.
You got an hour and a half of a bus ride. You might as well have a little fun with it, right?
Yeah, anything you want to play.
And we should mention this is a team that has their next home game on Wednesday at 7:30 at Edmonds Stadium. And Cole, I'm just going to go ahead and put you on the spot because I asked you guys off camera, does anybody have any fun plans over spring break? And your answer to me was what?
Nelson's going to a trip with a bunch of teachers.
Well, that too, but I believe
yeah.
the answer you gave me was, I'm going to win a soccer game.
Yeah, we're going to win a soccer game.
That's
so
confidence right there.
Thank you.
So you just go out there.
I'm excited, yeah.
You're excited to be playing during spring break.
Yeah,
Would you guys rather have a week off and do something else, or?
No, we want to keep focused on soccer. We've been doing good. We want to keep that form going. The break would almost mess it up. So
Yeah.
Keep the roll going. And Coach Nelson, enjoy your trip on the during the break as well. Hey, favorite moment this year so far? I thought it was going to be Shorewood because it's a team that's only given up one goal in all of Wesco this year, and it was to you guys, and you beat them 1-0. But You guys told me the Snohomish one was pretty big too.
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about beating some of these opponents that maybe historically Meadowdale hasn't taken care of in the past.
You could.
I mean, I think it's been 4 years that we haven't beat them since my freshman year, I believe. And you know, when you can't beat a team like over and over every year, it's really frustrating. And so when we came out this year and we actually handed it to them, it felt very good, and it really boosted our confidence. So I think we're still actually thriving off that.
And the elephant in the room, the one I haven't mentioned yet, you guys did take a loss on Friday to Marysville-Pilchuck, a team that currently is atop the standings right now. They're undefeated. So really that was a battle of 1 versus 2. They come away with a 3-1 victory. Cole, do you take anything away from the losses? Do you learn anything about your team? And how can you maybe put that towards the future?
Definitely, it's a bump in the road, but it's good for us just because if we a loss makes us learn what we need to do better, and so it's better to lose now than in playoffs. So I think it's a good lesson to learn right now.
And we should mention, so against Shorewood, Marysville-Pilchuck, Edmonds-Woodway is solid again this year. Squalicum up north is going to be coming down for district play. Top 4 teams, once the district tournament starts, top 4 teams will make it to state. Baboucarr, are you guys already kind of letting yourselves think about districts a little bit? I know it doesn't start for another month, but obviously when your record is what it is right now, I've got to think that it's in your mind a little, right?
Oh yeah, for sure. That's our mind. We have long-term goals, and we're trying to get up to state this year, for sure.
And just give me a head nod here. Is this a team that can make it to state?
100%.
We got 3 yeses right there. And we should also mention again, speaking of the schedule, Wednesday, April 10th. We don't normally look this far out, but why not on this one? It's Meadowdale, it's Edmonds-Woodway, it's at Edmonds Stadium at 7:30 on a Wednesday night. We want to get some people out to that game, right?
Yes,
A
sir.
lot of people.
Meadowdale, you guys don't like losing to Edmonds-Woodway?
No.
No?
Thank you.
Last year, one win in the regular season and 1 loss in the playoffs, correct?
Other way around.
Other way around, okay. So, Cole, you're a senior. I mean, what would it mean to get these guys one more time?
Definitely mean a lot just because since my freshman year, it's been rivalry and it's been back and forth. And we got him last year, we want to get him again just to end it off like that. So.
Okay, I'm going to put Jacob really on the spot here. Would you trade your Snohomish win for a win against Edmonds-Woodway?
I don't know.
You want both, right? Why not
Yeah,
just
I want both.
have your cake and eat it too? Why not? And it's going to be a really tough district playoff, so it should be kind of fun to watch. As far as next year for you guys, looking a little bit beyond districts and state, which we hope they're going to be doing. Baboucarr, it sounds like you kind of have your plans for the future already outlined a little bit. Tell me about what you want to do.
Yeah, next year I'm planning to go to Western University to try to study mechanical engineering to make my way up to Boeing. Yeah, or if I get an opportunity to play soccer in Edmonds community or Shoreline community, I'll take that and work my way up.
So playing soccer and working on planes. It's
Yeah.
not a bad future right there.
Yes, sir.
Good for you. Cole, or Jacob, what about you? What's the plan for you next year? Do we know yet?
Honestly, I'm just thinking about school and making it to college. If I can get a scholarship, that'd be cool. Get into university, and if not, I plan to go to Edmonds Community College and transfer over.
So soccer's definitely part of your plan.
Yeah.
Okay. And then for you, Cole, what about you? You've already signed for next year, right?
Yeah, I signed for Edmonds Community College to play soccer, so I'm very excited about that. And I've had a few friends on the team that are playing right now, so I'm excited to play for them next year.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then also I wanted to give a nice shout out to your coaches because I know everybody seems to think very highly of them. Talk a little bit about, let's start with Coach Nelson for a moment. What's the head coach, Mike Nelson, been like for you guys, and what's he meant to what you guys are accomplishing right now, Jacob?
I mean, he really gives us confidence. Every practice, he's out there with us, and I feel like he's a little bit more personal than most coaches. He'll actually get out there on the field with us and walk us through it and play with us, and he'll even do fitness with us sometimes. So we know that we're not being shorted, and I don't know. He's a really cool guy, and he just keeps our confidence high, and also keeps us humbled though, so we don't get out of our game.
Mm-hmm. And then Coach Griffin, Baboucarr,
Coach Griffin's really inspirational. I didn't know him that well until he started coaching soccer, but I'm glad that I met him, and he showed me a lot of tricks to playing defense, and he's motivated me to be a better player, and I like that about him. And he helps me before games start. He helps me get into the zone just to get ready to play the game.
solid coaching, a great core of players, a 6-2 record to start the year. And who knows, maybe districts and beyond after that. Guys, congratulations on a great start to your year. And again, playing at home against Arlington at Edmonds Stadium, 7:30 this Wednesday night. And then the following Wednesday, you can watch these guys take on Edmonds-Woodway, also at Edmonds Stadium. Guys, best of luck.
Thank you.
It's clear that that team has an amazing amount of chemistry, at least looking at those three young men who were on the show.
Yeah, and chemistry is vital for a
Yeah.
sport like that. So the fact that they everybody seems to get along, they all kind of play their roles too. And I liked how when you ask one of the players about another one, and they kind of mention they keep us on task, and you don't always hear that when you talk to high school athletes. So it's nice to have that one person that kind of gets everybody going and keeps everybody focused. But they have a nice combination of fun along the way too. It sounds like that bus ride to Oak Harbor is going to be
Yeah.
Quite the
yeah,
trip.
The playlist is ready. It
yeah.
sounds like.
Yeah, Baboucar's got that covered, so we're good to go there.
All right. Well, lots of other sports to give a quick wrap up of, so I'll let you do that.
Yeah, let's go ahead and shall we give away a couple shirts?
Oh, let's do that.
It's
Yeah.
the Action Jackson Plumbing Player of the Week shirt. We're going to give this to one male and one female athlete this week. Female one, this one was kind of easy for me. Kate Houghton, who we had in studio not too long ago. She is a pitcher for Meadowdale. 17 strikeouts in a victory over Snohomish. 17 strikeouts in itself is very impressive. The fact that you're doing it against a team that played in a state championship game last year, as the Snohomish Panthers did, and they picked up a 4-3 win in the process too. So Kate, for your 17 strikeout performance, we've got a shirt coming your way. And why don't we just keep the pitching theme going here too? We're going to give another shirt to Dylan Gordon of Mount Lake Terrace. Dylan picking up a 2-1 victory over Shorecrest. Complete game earlier this week. Gave up a run in the first inning, settled himself down, got 6 scoreless innings after that, and they needed him to because, again, they only got a victory by 1 run. Struck out 5 and only gave up 5 hits in the process. So, Dylan, you also have a shirt coming your way. And just to mention a few other athletes in the area, Cody Snow, who also pitches for the Mount Lake Terrace Hawks, pitched into the 7th inning against Shorecrest in a 10-2 victory. Not bad for a freshman there, right? They didn't give up any runs through the first 6 innings. So we'll give him a little honorable mention. Lexi Huffman, who is the #1 individual tennis player for Edmonds-Woodway. She picked up a 6-1, 6-love victory over a Linwood opponent earlier this week. Josh Nelson for the Edmonds-Woodway boys golf team shot a 36 through 9 holes against Shorewood, Mount Lake Terrace, and Shorecrest, a match that Edmonds-Woodway won overall. And while we're talking golf, let's give a little love to the Meadowdale Mavericks golf team. They defeated Everett this week. Hannah Peterson shooting a 43 to lead the Mavs to victory. So a lot going on in the world of sports. And one more soccer shout out too. Miguel Ohamada picked up a goal against Marysville Getchell in a 1-0 victory for the Royals on Friday night. So there you go. I think we covered most of our bases there. And so much going on right now. It's hard to get to all of it, but certainly the websites are doing a fantastic job this year, by the way, of covering spring sports. So I do want to give a shout out to Doug Petrowski and all the other folks who are out there every week.
We've got photographers at a lot of the games, and of course Doug does a wrap up of all the sports every night. So we do our best.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Great job.
All right. So this is a busy week for sports, even though it's spring break. There's a lot going on, and so if you want to get out, you have some free time in the afternoon for a baseball game or a softball game or an evening soccer match. Now's the time.
And we should mention also we are off next week. We're taking a
That's
little
right, we
spring
are.
break of our own, so we will be back on in 2 more weeks to
That's right.
get everybody caught up as to what is going on throughout the Edmonds School District sports scene and getting you caught up as to who is doing what in the standings as we get so much closer to postseason play, which is only a few weeks away already.
I know.
Go figure.
I believe it. We're almost at the end of the school year.
It's
Dare we
getting close.
say that? Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, have a great week, everybody, and we will see you in a couple weeks.
Take care.